Imagine, if you will, sitting down to your morning coffee, turning on your home computer to read the day's newspaper. Well, it's not as far-fetched as it may seem. In fact, both local San Francisco papers are investing a lot of money to try and get a service just like that started. Science editor Steve Newman reports on one person already using the brand new system.
Hello everyone, today I'm going to be showing you this awesome, this is a iMac, from fall of 1999. I've had it for about 2 years now, and, since, today they launched macOS 10.1, I thought I would show it to you. Now, I installed macOS 10.1 on this computer this morning, so I'll show you that. But first off, I want to show you some of the things you can do with the 1999 version that it originally came with, which is macOS 9. Now, can see that this has a disk drive in the front, and it's an all-in-one design, unlike a lot of computers that most people have, where it's just the big tower and the big monitor, or if you have a lot of money, you might have an LCD monitor. This is all-in-one. It's contained in one big package, and it's a pretty cool design. So, in the front here, you have it has a DVD-ROM drive. A lot of computers are still using CDRW drives, and they can only read CDs. This can actually, if you wanted to, you could use this as a DVD player. You have stereo speakers. I'm pretty sure a lot of computers nowadays still have, at least have stereo speakers connected to them. You have 2 headphone jacks on the front. In fact, I think a lot of schools use these, and so like 2 kids can be working on something together on this one big computer. And here's the power button, and when I press it, it'll make a startup chime. Now, there's a little problem. The speakers are kind of blown. I must have been playing music too loud or something. But now the power button is green, and on the screen here you'll see it goes gray, and on the screen, if I zoom in here, there was a old Happy Macintosh icon. Now I'm going to have to move the video camera closer. I guess the screen must be too bright, but on this little window here, you'll see it says macOS 9.1. Okay, so this thing is actually pretty powerful. I actually installed 1 GB of RAM in here, so it blows a lot of computers out of the water in terms of specs. So anyways, you can kind of see I have a nice green background here. This is the original background that was on there when I first got the computer 2 years ago or so. Oh, network time error. My time zone is not valid. Well, I'll deal with that later. So, okay, the screen is still way too bright. Okay, let me just try to zoom in here. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and sign in here. I decided to enable multiple user accounts in case somebody else wanted to use the computer. So anyways, now we are on the desktop. Now before we continue, I'm going to go into the control panels and fix the display. Now this actually uses a different graphical user interface than a lot of computers that you'll see. Alright, so now you can now it looks better. You can actually kind of see it. Alright, there we go. So this is the Macintosh desktop for the Finder. Now this was originally introduced with the 1984 Macintosh. And you can see I have Mac OS 9.1 on this computer, 1 GB of RAM. I don't have virtual memory on. And it says that the system was built a year ago, in 2000. So I have a large unused block of memory is 963.6 megabytes. So let's check out some of this stuff now. In the Apple System Profiler here, once it loads, it'll tell you some more information about the computer. iMac, machine ID 406. The keyboard type, it says Apple Extended Keyboard, except I'm actually using a keyboard. Since my family got another keyboard for their computer, I decided to take this one because the keyboard that originally came with this computer is broken. Anyways, it has the PowerPC G3, which was introduced to Macs in about 1996 or so. And with the original Power Macintosh G3. Now they've since replaced it with the blue and white Macintosh Power Mac G3, sort of like my laptop here, which is the pretty much the portable version of this big desktop computer here. This is the iBook G3, but I might do something later with that. Let's get back to the iMac G3 here. I'm gonna try to move the camera closer, zoom it out a bit more. So, devices and volumes. This keyboard actually has a mouse port, which is what I'm using to connect the original mouse. Now this is the Apple USB mouse, and the cool thing about it is that, well, it connects through USB. This was one of the first Apple computers to use the Universal Serial Bus, which is now on almost every PC. Now it still has the trackball. In fact, I believe actually maybe a few months ago or so, maybe a year ago, they introduced the Pro Mouse. I don't have that because I'm fine with the Apple USB mouse. And it has one single button. You use that to click things on the interface. Just press it, and boom, it's gone. Now let's talk about some of these applications that are on the desktop here. I have QuickTime Player. I do not have QuickTime Pro. QuickTime 4 apparently. We'll do that later. And oh, I don't have any media open. Whoops. Alright, so browse the internet. Now I do not think this is set up for internet access yet. Now Sherlock 2 is the search program that this computer uses. Yeah, you can use it to search the hard drive, search a bunch of search the internet, and many other websites. This one, you can search for people, shopping, news, Apple. There's a bunch of sites here. Apple.com. Reference can my channel. Not sure what that is. And entertainment. Well, hey, look, it even has a clapperboard. So let's look for other applications that are on this computer. So on my hard drive here, you can see all kinds of folders here. Applications, internet utilities. Yeah. Oh, this even has Internet Explorer 5 on it. I believe that came with the Mac OS 9.1 update, which is actually pretty cool. But I'll show you why it's pretty cool in a bit. Graphing calculator. I'm not sure how this works. Let's just play with it. 0 divided by 0 equals not a number. Actually, let's try something else. 99 times 45. Let's see if I can graph that. Okay, well apparently the volume buttons on my keyboard aren't working. To turn up the volume so you can hear the sounds a little bit better. Anyways, oh, it even has a Netscape communicator on it. QuickTime, simple text, which I can use to write things. The fox jumped over the lazy dog. There. I just typed in the little sample sentence. Of course, it's almost invisible. Don't save that. I don't use that on my computer. Utilities. Now, I believe these can be used when your computer. Disk First Aid is used to fix hard drives, which I believe they might have replaced it with the disk utility. I'm not sure. There's some assistance on here. There's a little closer. There is such things as the Internet Setup Assistant, the Airport Setup Assistant. Now, if you're wondering what the airport is, it is a device that goes inside of your computer. It is very easy to install. It is a device that goes inside of your computer, and it allows you to connect to wireless networks. which means you won't have to connect an Ethernet or a dial-up modem, and you'll get faster internet speeds than you would with 56K. The Mac OS Setup Assistant, which runs the first time you start your computer, I believe. Anyways, let me try to here's Apple Extras. Actually, let's try that Sherlock program. There's one really cool program I want to show you. Okay. Hard disk. Okay, a network error occurred. Should ignore that. iMovie search. Now it is searching my hard drives. It found one item, iMovie.app. Wait, I can't. Oh, it's because it's on the 10.1 partition on my hard drive. Okay, so since I cannot show you that program, I am going to move on to the next thing, which would entail us going to the control panels here. It's if you just click on control panels, it will act a lot like the Windows control panel, but I can access everything straight from the Apple menu, I believe is what it's called. Oh, wrong one. Let me just go to, we want startup disk. And we're going to select the one that's called Puma, because that's what Mac OS 10.1 is called. And we can go ahead and restart the computer. There is the startup chime again. The startup chime plays every time you turn on your computer, which is one of the defining factors. I believe this startup chime was introduced with it was either introduced with the original Power Macintosh G3 or the blue and white Power Mac G3. So you can see the Happy Mac symbol here. This was a lot like the one that showed when I started up the computer. Oh yeah, there was a loading icon up there. Now you can see the mouse cursor, and here is a new loading screen for Mac OS. So you can see the X, which is the Roman numeral for 10, and it just finished loading, and it should I should be logging in to Mac OS 10.1, which this is an all new interface called Aqua. Now this one, I believe, is meant to be similar. It has not only similarities to the Next Step operating system from before 1997, when Steve Jobs returned to Apple, and it's also very similar to the Mac OS, which is what I just showed you. So let's search around our hard drive here. We have Mail, which isn't going to work because I don't have an internet connection. This operating system still has Sherlock in it. This is a new version. The one that was in OS 9 was 2. This one is... okay, it doesn't have a version number on it. So, for some reason, this still says it's 7:09 a.m. even though it's 12:09. I'm not sure why it says that. Now I'm going to show you the applications. Now Mac OS 10 always has a preset set of applications here. We have a little game called chess. A lot of people have probably played this before. Now it's digital on a Mac. Oh, you can see the loading icon maybe. Ooh, speech. I forgot to show this before. Alright, so we're going to try and move this piece up. And it is now black's move. And see, I'm not that good at chess, so bear with me. Okay. Okay, we're gonna quit that. Quit chess. Now I want to show you a game that. Now I want to show you why that macOS 9 update was so cool. Oh jeez, it looks white. The entire screen. If I can get this to work. Now, I'm going to take a game here. It's this one is Putt Putt Enters the Race. It is a CD game that is meant to work with Windows 98, 95, 3.1. I don't think you can really see it that well. Let me try to. Yeah, the text is black. And Macintosh. By Macintosh, they mean Mac OS. Well, I guess the case is broke for this game. So anyways, we're going to I'm going to go into the system preferences here. I'm going to load up a thing called Classic, which will run the macOS 9 operating system inside of macOS 10. It's going to run pretty much a stripped down version of it that can basically just run the applications. Okay, they recommend I install macOS 9.2, but I don't want to do that because macOS 9.1 will work. Alright, so I'm going to update the resources of macOS 9. And as you can see, now it's giving the macOS 9.1 startup screen. Now before it was green, but now it's just set back to the default blue. It'll still run the green when I start up macOS 9 directly inside of the computer to just run macOS 9. And now the application finder is unexpectedly quit. You should save your work in other applications and restart the computer. That probably has something to do with the fact that I'm trying to run the macOS 9 system in macOS 10. So if I quit system preferences, now I'm going to take the game and I'm going to. Alright, watch this. So this is what it looks like when you put a disk inside of the computer. Now this is a slot loading drive, so it's not like you push a button and a tray opens, or you press a button and you slide out a tray. Even on something like my laptop. All you have to do is you just have to take the disk, put it in the slot, and there it goes. The disk is now inside the computer, and it will start reading. And now we're going to try and play the game on the computer. So let's try autoplay. And you can see it's loading in macOS 9. Oh. Okay. So it's apparently having to restart Mac OS 9. This I haven't really seen yet, so yeah. And once it starts up, it is going to play the game. As you can see, it's still bouncing down the dock. Oh. I guess it's trying to find random applications. For some reason, Finder keeps quitting. Also, I'm not sure why, but on the disc it looks like they spelled copyright wrong. Okay, this does not seem to be working right now, so we're going to have to try something else in order for me to show you the game. Or it's going to work. Okay, I'm not sure what exactly is happening, so yeah. Okay, so it would appear that the game is not doing what it's supposed to be doing. So let me. This is a good opportunity to show you one of the things. Okay, for some reason, logout has timed up because the application classic support failed to quit. Alright. So, let me just take a flashlight and I'll show you. You can see back here. Well, it even looks green. These are the ports. Now, what we're really looking at here is the reset button, which looks like a backwards play button, and there's also the interrupt button, but I'm not sure what that does. You can see the Ethernet. There's two USBs back here. One is occupied by the keyboard. There's a 56K modem, the FireWire, and another speaker port and a microphone jack. Now I'm going to take the flashlight away and we are going to press the reset button and hear that chime again. See? Just turns straight off. So I'm going to show you another thing that I found out about this, is that you don't actually have to use the startup disk every time you want to boot into a different operating system. You can just go on the computer and click on an option, and it will start that option on the computer. So I'm going to click the Mac OS 9 drive, and we're going to start up. And we'll see if the game wants to work now. So, just put this back in the telephone here. Oh, and it even has a disk first 8 on startup, kind of like the Microsoft Scan disk from Windows. Except this one is much more. It's much less text-based. It says, your computer did not shut down properly. Disk first aid is checking your hard disk and will repair any problems. If the computer is having problems, see Mac help for troubleshooting information. You can turn this warning in. You can turn off this warning in the general control panel. Verification and repair is completed successfully. So now I can just press enter, and it'll continue starting up the computer. And now we are back where we were in the first place. So I guess long story short, Mac OS X is better for running the applications it's designed to run, and Mac OS IX is good for starting up into classic Mac OS to run all the old applications, like the game we were trying to run. But I still want to show you the game, so we're just going to load that up. Ooh, even in the background, it still wants to show the game. So, there's proof that it is working. The network time error is still messed up. So now we are on a window that says put enters erased. Now we can play, and it'll install the game. This program will install the files that are required for the game to run. It will only need to be run once. Okay. Install, and it is now installing the game. Alright, so I'm going to set the colors to 256 mode. Oh, just checking my CD-ROM drive speed. This may take several minutes depending on the CD-ROM drive. Even though this thing is crazy fast and blows PCs out of the water. Register today. I do not want to register right now. And you can see the game is running just fine. Oh, there's the speakers again. Put enters the race.
Okay, Pep, okay. Ready, Pep? Catch! Catch, no do, but, wow, so easy.
Now we can skip all of this, and as you can see, the game is running. This actually, I noticed, uses a yellow mouse cursor similar to the first Putt game, and the first version of the second one, except this cursor is smaller. I can see I can still click on random things, and they will still do random things. Then I can go forward. So, see, works just fine. So, since I can't show you a program called iMovie, which was introduced with this computer and comes straight out and comes with it, is actually on the reinstall CD. But since I cannot show you that, I am going to eject the disk, and I will show you what it's like to shut down one of these beautiful, expensive machines. At least I think they're still expensive. Alright, I just clicked Command E, or Windows key E on this keyboard, and as you can see, it came out the same way that I put it in. So, now all that's left to do is to shut down the machine. Now, to do this, it's not like a Windows PC where you click the start menu and it shuts down. In fact, the Apple menu is really only for showing a certain set of applications. So all you have to do is you have to click this button that says special, and you click the shutdown, which is the one that's before logout, if you have multiple user accounts enabled, because by default it just uses one standard thing. It just uses one standard thing for everything, like the old versions of Windows. So then I click shutdown, and alright, I click shutdown. It'll blink a few times, and then it'll make a lock sound, and now the computer is off. It'll kind of make a few like noises when you turn off a car, but that's normal because of the CRT display technology that's in this computer. So anyways, that will end this tour of my iMac, and